know how. You can't stop it now.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. this way. Don't let me sleep, never say you're sorry. Oh, maybe I'll leave, baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
I'm left behind, obeyed the line, but always a gone. You fool me at the bottom line, I lie afraid. Are we in the same place? Falling. I'll be the wake-up call, I'll be the sun you
Hello and welcome back to Duo Esports BSGCS Week 5, Day 1. It is me doing your play-by-play casting all day today. Joined with me is my good friend Warhood being the color caster today.
Hello and welcome to a wonderful, great Week 5. We are having another interconference battle week. Who will take the cake today, Elder Drake or Baron? We are coming in live with a great first game coming up. AOL versus EG. EG being on the blue side. Great game. And also the debut of someone familiar for AOL in the AD carry role. Vasla, why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, well, we have Leslo, the 80 carry from Prostate. He performed quite well on the team, for the team, despite his vain play that one game. But I hope to see some good things from him coming into this game. AOL has a really good support lineup. Most of their supports are really good. And I would really like to see something really cool happen in the bot lane, especially knowing that Juno is like a good guiding force for Enigmatic Gaming.
All right. Definitely a great little rivalry between Shuno and Alessio. If you guys have been in our Discord at all recently since the start of the season, you definitely have been able to see them butting heads a little bit. Great little blow-off match between them. Alessio deciding to join AOL, who just happens to play in his first game against Enigmatic. Going down, though, the starting lineup, though, nothing has really changed for EG. EG getting the same starting five as we always have seen. Night Show in the top lane. Chris Brown in the jungle, looking to smack someone up. Diffurion in the mid, Shuno in the 80 carry, and rounding it out, Starshrow being the final support player. The same can be said as well, besides the Alessio substitution for AOL. Sivir in the top... How would you say it?
Sivir
in the top lane. Sonic Abs coming up in the jungle position. Spike in the mid lane. Alessio in the 80 carry position, and finally Sorrow Brown, their sturdy support, coming in, making the plays for the support lane. Anything you are looking forward to at all?
Mostly just to see the bot lane matchup. As we said before, Shuno and Alessio have this pretty big rivalry going on. I think it'll be pretty fun to see. Specifically, I imagine that it'll be a high action lane, as both players really wanted to show their stuff off against the other one, fighting each other a lot in the lane. Other than that, I really want to see what can happen around the mid lane.
Yeah, Spike and Diffurion, two of the most sturdy mid laners in this league currently. Great showings from them on multiple games coming up through these first 4 weeks. This is week 5 after all. As we are getting ready to get into Champ Select, Voss, are you ready to go? Are you ready to start off week 5 with a bang?
Absolutely, I'm totally ready. I'm totally to see these pick and bans and see exactly how this game is going to go.
So other than that, are you looking to see anything getting banned coming forward as we do get a chance to jump into pick ban?
Honestly, I expect Sonic Abs' Trundle to get banned, and the Darius is no surprise here as well.
Yeah, new skin, shame. I always do love the Darius skin. That's my favorite one. Have you seen the two new skins, the Darius and Garen skins?
I absolutely have, and I chose Darius because, you know what, Purple Wolf is better than Blue Lion. That's my opinion.
Damn straight. That's my opinion too. Darius' skin is just so much better. It is just a great skin, a great looking skin. Both Riot did a great job with both those skins. Currently, though, it's sad we're not going to get a chance to see the Darius one. Maybe we get the chance to see the Garen one, however, as we get into the second ban. Shen being banned out second. Great utility champion, strong top laner, as we've seen.
And Aleslo's Kaisa also banned. It should have been thought of. Didn't even think of it at the time, but now I see it and I'm just like, that makes sense. Obviously not allowed to play that champion.
Coming back as well, I would hope to see Shuno's Tristana gets banned out. Tristana, the first 2 games of the seasons, Shuno has popped off on. Recently, though, they have been banning their Tristana, and Shuno has come back to earth just a little bit.
I don't really think we'll see the Tristana ban. I don't think it's too much of a priority at this point in time. Crit 80 carries being super bad in this current meta. She did receive a small buff as of yesterday, but I don't think it's anything to write home about.
Well, there is your Trundle band. Last band coming out, I would just have to assume is gonna be some sort of 80 carry band. Maybe looking to get the Lucian off the table unless Alessio wants to first pick it. It's a Sivir though, coming through. Another champion that Shino has had experience playing on in this league.
Absolutely, and we do see an immediate Gangplank first pick. I feel like that is a bit aggressive, giving Sivir the immediate counter pick and choice to just pick his top laner right now and save an extra counter pick for the second rotation.
Yeah, definitely something they maybe Night Shadow is not worried about playing against, or maybe he feels that playing into the Gnar or something like that Sivir plays pretty well is not something he's afraid for with the Gangplank.
And we do see also a brand picked up as well. Sarah Brown playing a lot of that champion. Sonic Abs getting his J4 as the Trundle is banned. Nothing too different about Aol Phoenix's draft. We do see the brand continuously first pick for them.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see the Glacial brand coming out here. I definitely want to see something like that. Maybe brand also is one with having another good school. However, we do see Sejuani coming and being locked in a great team fighting composition they are picking up. If AOL or if EG gets the chance to, this is going to be a great team fight comp to see.
Absolutely, that and the Braum counter into the brand. I really like this pick. If Braum can get up as Unbreakable before the brand's Pyroclasm hits, he just completely absorb it and the Pyroclasm just disappears from the game and is really good into a brand if you can get it off in time. If you do, however, get stunned by the Seer before you can get the Unbreakable off, you are not as happy.
Yeah. One of the great opportunities we then get to see as we get the final band of the final pick of the first band phase out of the way. Orianna getting locked in. Orianna always in meta because of her ult and the utility she brings with the ball delivery system in J4. Spike could be setting up for a big game this coming forward.
Absolutely, and a Lucian first band in the second rotation. Pretty much expected here. We did see the Braum picked. It's just like. And the only other 80 carries that's available that you'd really want to pick is Ezreal, Vladimir banned as well. Alessio has showed that he has played it. They don't really know if he's going to pick it in the bot lane as well with the brand. So at this point in time, I think both of them are just going to pinch the 80 carry or carry role, shall we say.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way to look. I would be looking there too, picking off the carries, 80 carries. You may see something a little more bruisery. Alessio did actually play one mid game for Frosty and did play a Zed, so he does know to have a little bit of a champion pool outside of the 80 carry position.
And we do see, however, Diffurian's Talon banned as well. One of his more played champions. Doesn't really want to deal with it. Orianna did receive that small nerf to her shield. Doesn't feel as safe or confident in that matchup. Getting rid of it feels like a smart pick here, and they don't feel that they need to ban any more of Shuno's 80 carries.
Yeah, I mean, they did leave the Tristana open, and they're going to have first pick. Tristana, Ezreal, both on the table would be great first picks. Varus, as well, as we speak about Shuno popping off on Tristana. Alessio became known in this league for the Varus. I think it's a good ban when you're focusing Alessio's champion pool.
Absolutely, and Alessio does pick his champion of the Xayah. It's a pretty good utility 80 carry. It does good damage as well, scales pretty decently if she can get to that point. I don't know what we'll see Shuno pick. I expect to see an Ezreal in return, making it very hard to get rooted. Will be very safe in lane. Will be able to just poke out, do whatever he wants, able to show up to team fights whenever he can, and still be able to pump out DPS. There's
the Ezreal hover. As we now see what mid laner they have, they get the choice to counterpick this mid laner here with the Orianna already on the table, unless they're going to do something crazy and go Orianna top lane.
Absolutely, unless it's an Orianna in the bot lane, which I just can't imagine seeing. I feel like that would just be incredibly weird. We do see the brand, we do see the Orianna, we do see the Xayah at this point. I feel like they're just holding on to their top lane pick for whatever reason. Diffurion does, however, pick up the Lux.
Great poke champion, great ability to poke off champion. They have a great siege breaking comp here, I would say, with the Gangplank, the Lux, and the Ezreal. Great safe poke from distance. Gonna be something that is gonna be a ability for them coming forward.
And we do see a Singed hover. I don't know if I've ever seen Seavert play the champion, and he decides for a last minute switcheroo, going for the Yorick instead. Really. Not a lot of CC on that champion. The wall and is slow, but a good amount of tower pushing potential. If you just like blink twice, the tower will disappear too. If he does go demolish as well, and the Spirit Maiden just doing so much damage to towers.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a good pick. I was going to say the Singe did get nerfed hard these past couple patches. Singe got an outright nerf this patch on Tuesday, and then last week, or last patch, they removed the banner of command, which really gimped what Singe was able to do. Yorick, though, a great strong comp, split pusher, and if gets ahead, you cannot really deal with him post 35 minutes. Yorick is going to be a definite pain coming forward.
Absolutely, and can farm pretty easily into a gangplank. Nobody really having good kill pressure unless the jungler shows up, and J4 will have a better early game pressure than a Sejuani anyways. So it'll be pretty hard for the gangplank to get as much farm going unless he's able to just use his barrels on repeat to just get farm safely. Because if Yorick is able to get his E, which I do not know the name of, is able to get that hasted bonus for when he lands it, and then also the slow will just let him to just throw his monkeys at Gangplank, just do so much damage to that champion, and just force him to use orange or whatever sort of potions he has early, just because Yorick does a lot of damage if he's allowed to get on top of you.
Yeah, gonna be something interesting coming up. Definitely a good little AoE combo that AOL has. What at this point? What team do you think is gonna be your win? Your win for your early selection for your win pick today, and why?
Early pick selection. I'm looking at team comps. I like the Sejuani pick more than the J4 pick a lot. I don't like either top lane picks here. I don't think they provide enough to a team. They're pretty much just looking to split push as much as they can and then just 4v4. But I feel like in a team fight scenario, Ezreal and Braum will be able to do a lot for their team with Xayah and Brand if we do expect a 4-1 going on. And Lux will have the same capabilities that Orianna has, except a lot further back and a lot safer. And it's very hard for the J4 to get on top of that. So I think I like EG's composition more here.
I would have to 100% agree with you. I do think, though, there is a slight skill advantage coming out on AOL's side for the bot lane. I think that Sorrow Brown is a very strong support player and will maybe give the opportunity to carry a Leslo through. I do think, though, given what you hear from Discord, from the Duo Esports Discord, I do think that we are getting you can see a couple bot lane ganks coming this way because the Leslie does seem to be one that kind of tilts a little bit. And if that's the case, then I would be focusing the bot lane to shut him down, especially with Zyra not having a lot of mobility pre-level 6.
Yes, I agree. Especially if Chris Brown can get to level 6 as soon as he can, and then immediately just come bot lane with his level 6. That level 6 being such a strong AoE ability into his Xayah Brand, no real escapes on their kits will be probably 6 before Xayah and Brand if he is able to farm effectively and he doesn't get counter jungled by the J4. J4 not having the best ability to counter jungle, as is clear early on, is quite slow and is comparable to Sejuani's and also just as unhealthy. So I think that J4 has a better gank potential pre-6, but Sejuani post-6 will be able to just show whatever she can do and then just show up on the map. And I expect to see that bot lane, especially with a good setup from a Braum and Ezreal poke just being effective in that lane.
Yeah, I do feel that a lot coming through. You're also looking at what these laners, what the junglers have to gank with and gank for. I would have to admit the J4 has not a lot of gank potential coming out of the top and mid lane because the J4 doesn't actually have a setup to any of his ganks. So basically the only CC they're going to have is going to be the EQ combo, I think it's EQ or EQ combo from the flag and drag from J4, and if that doesn't hit, then there's going to be a bad time coming through.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of setup in the top lane, but it's pretty hard for Seaver to get into position to just get the wall off on Gangplank safely and then able to get that minor slow. The slow's not a lot. I think it's like 30%. So it's not like too big of an issue. So he does have a little bit of setup in the top lane.
Well,
but,
even if... I was going to say, even if he gets the slow off, right, the Gangplank just oranges it and walks away. So
just oranges and it's K.
Yeah, Gangplanks are surprisingly hard to gank, especially if they're not shoved in, or they're not shoving in, and Gangplanks usually you lose their shove early levels to whatever top lane they're facing.
Absolutely. I feel like that the bot lane is probably the easiest place for J4 to gank. We probably will see some attention brought there. Leslo having the the root
Root.
from the feather collar, and then Brand also having this done on the seer after he already applies his the burning sensation to other champions.
Yeah, that's definitely a chase. We're looking at this. What skin? I have to ask. Do you first off? Let's get the less cosmetic stuff out of the way. See anything interesting in their masteries? I do not right now. Maybe you can pick something else that would be interesting. Everything seemed pretty standard.
The only interesting thing I see is that Brand went domination second, but I imagine that's for Ultimate Hunter. Other than that, like that's the only interesting thing is that Brand just wants to ult and just be around team fights and get that AoE damage that they want as soon as possible. It will have the Orianna and J4 combination. I don't agree with the Conqueror pick in the top lane for Yorick, but if he is able to get the Conqueror proc and able to stay on top of someone, like he's gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be dealing tons of damage as we're looking at this. What I'm interested in seeing is Chris Brown's ability to hit those, glacial prisons, the Polar Express running through the team, seeing if they're going to hit anything or just whiff like Smithy style in these team fights. A lot of targets he can hit here, or mid lane and both bot laners would be decent targets for them to hit. So I guess now to the cosmetic side of the game and what Riot wants you to do with these things and buy, which is your favorite skin as we get into game?
Oh, my favorite skin is probably the Darkstar Orianna. I like that skin. I like the colors on it, and I like the galaxy in the stomach. Elementalist Lux is always fantastic because you can choose what you want to do, but normal Elementalist Lux is pretty But when you get into like all the special cosmetics and yada yada yada, it looks really cool. But for the most part, like I'm gonna have to go with Darkstar Orianna.
Yeah, definitely going to be an opportunity coming forward. What I am definitely most interested in seeing is if there is any level 1, their pings do come out. I do think EG have a great opportunity and a great level 1 invade coming forward.
Absolutely. AOL is looking forward. AOL has done continuous level 1 invades. It kind of changed it up almost every time they've done it. There was a lot of the times where they would go through the bot lane, but it doesn't look like they want to invade, but it looks like they're countering an invade. They expect an invade to come through the river, and we do see EG, however, looking to maybe fall right into their plan if anything were to happen.
Yeah, definitely a great thing. Let's see what we make first move. A lot of danger coming forward. If there was a studio here, there would be loud chanting going on of fight, 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 as we've seen in the LCS multiple times this season.
Absolutely. We don't see anybody started with... The only people that have started with anything is Sarah Brown has started with his Pillar of Flame, and Orianna has started with Command Attack as well, but we don't see any sort of invade. EG still sitting inside of that bush. Maybe looking for a super late invade?
Yeah, great patience here as they decide to make their first move. Nothing coming out, and they do retreat. If they had... Honestly, I give the props there for EG being able to wait that out. That was an obviously scripted invade.
They definitely had an idea of what they were doing. They were hoping that AOL was going to come first, maybe catch them on the back end if they went to the bot lane like they had done previous, and like they usually do a U-turn and come out behind the dragon and then go over there right by where they were sitting, and they were probably hoping to catch them by surprise there, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Nothing really happens. Everybody just walks the lane. Everybody's fine. It looks like Gangplank did miss this experience of 1 minion in the top lane, and that'll be pretty sad, but I think he'll just be mostly fine and farming with his parlay in the first place.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. Gangplank usually gets shoved in under turret a lot. So with Gangplank getting shoved in under turret, losing 1 experience to basically lose level 2 just means he's automatically going to have to back off soon. Coming in with that opportunity, going to be able to catch up.
The good news is that like it is a very hard melee matchup. There's not a lot of poke that York can provide. The E isn't like the easiest ability to land, and it's pretty annoying to try and land. And if you can land it with your monkeys, as I call them all the time, you do a lot of damage. As he does immediately go for this trade, but he is not liking that trade in the top lane. He does, however, pop his corrupting potion. Same thing with Nightshow. Nightshow and Seabear both just doing as much poke damage and healing up as much as they can. But Seabear, I think, came out for the worse for wear.
Sejuani, one thing I do not like about this, Sejuani decided to take the Razor Beaks as her second camp. Means she's lost a lot of time coming forward, even though she is full health because of the Huntsman talisman.
I actually like that pathing here because if J4 was able to to do vertical jungling after the blue buff and then steal her Raptors, then she loses a lot of experience because Raptors give so much experience in the jungle. It would have been very, very bad for her to lose that experience. So taking that also show, and J4 didn't go for the vertical jungling, so it's more of a safe path there. And Seaver did happen to get the kill over there in the top lane. It looks like he was able to get the E off as he got the monkeys down and was able to throw him at him. And Nightshow, having no more corrupting potion stacks, just completely died. Sonic Abs was able to get a decent gank off as we were talking about the Sejuani pathing.
Nothing, unfortunately, no chance to even respond to the burst of damage coming in by the York, as you call them, monkeys coming forward. Straight death. Doesn't burn his flash, luckily for that.
Yes, they are actually ghouls, but I'm going to keep referring to them as monkeys, as that's what I always refer to them whenever I play that champion.
Yeah, definitely. J4 now looking for the gank mid. What is going to chance? It looks like even the minion wave is pushing into him, but J4 decides to wave off the gank.
Absolutely. Was sitting on a ward. Diffurion completely saw that. Just didn't even flinch. Just sat there just trying to get the CS. Knows that he doesn't have to walk to that side. Doesn't have to do anything. Spike right now it's only level 4 on this Orianna. Doesn't really have the greatest gank setup. So Diffurion is kind of there just in case anything were to happen. But Chris Brown's at this point in time just wants to farm and hit 6.
Yeah. Definitely probably the best way to play the Sejuani. Not a lot of influence coming in off the map. Mana hungry. Gets her chance to... She decides to go the Abami Cinder route, so it means she's looking to clear a lot more instead of gank, is what my early signal to that would be, if I saw that coming out. So look for the quick level 6, and then hope to get pressure on cooldown with her ult.
That would be exactly what I expect to see here. Not really much anything or helping not really much happening anywhere else. Nightshow is, however, showing a decent CS lead. It looks like you're going for lots of aggressive trades and kind of like foregoing CS to just try and damage out Nightshow and push him out of lane. But that is a grasped gangplank. Sure, you did manage to get that kill, but it's going to be very hard to continuously push out of lane if you think so. But there's a decent sized minion wave that Seabear will be able to collect.
Well, the issue is now with what Night Shadow did is he pushed out. He has to back here with not much left to do, really. Everything on his side of the map taken, and without teleport because of the early death, he is now in a awkward position where this lane could get freezed out and there's not a lot he can do.
Absolutely. He pretty much just has to let it just push and die if he can. It looks like Seabear did, however, get a decent freeze off. That minion wave will die. Nightshow will want to get this cannon minion, as we all expect cannon minions being super valuable right now. I just like almost gets it.
Misses it.
Not. Does he get? No, it does not. Very sad time for him. Oof.
Definitely a bit of unfortunate situations here, but this is what happens when you shove in under turret to a Yorick who can freeze.
He did get a bit of a slow push going over there when he was trying to freeze on the York. However, kegs do a lot of damage if you try to use them to poke and harass, so then they just help push the wave, and especially if you try to get grass blocks off the minions, the enemy minions will start to focus you rather than your minions and break your freeze that you have. So it's not like the most optimal thing unless you're able to juggle in and out of the bush and get a lot of damage off that way. It didn't seem that Seabear or Nightshow was able to keep the juggle going of the lane free, so then had to give it up to Seabear, and now is like in a very sad spot.
Definitely like overextended now, gives a chance, even though J4 is going down to take his blue, gives a definite chance, another chance for Night Shadow to die again, as he is in an awkward and not just that dangerous position.
Seabear trying to get as much damage down as he can onto Nightshow, and Chuno's not doing so hot right now in the bot lane. To be fair, though, there is a Brand support. Brand pre-6 is one of the most oppressive supports in the game. Chuno not really having the ability to free farm or get as much farm as he would like. Brand just being super annoying and does a lot of damage. And the Starstone not being level 6, or not being in a position to really block the Pillar of Flame damage. Especially as you're Braum, you can only block things coming at you. So it's a really sad time. There's not too much he can do.
Yeah, this is definitely a lane Chuno loses, I think, all the way through, even though missing your Mystic Shot is not a way to make this lane any evener, more even. But that is definitely an issue coming forward that they're going to have to see, where there's basically, they get zoned hopefully they do not get frozen on and miss a ton of XP coming forward.
Absolutely. I don't think it'll be too big of an issue, though. I think Ezreal will become more relevant than Zaya early on anyways, because Zaya has to get those crit items as she is a crit 80 carry at this point. So it is not the most ideal thing for her to be. Sure, she might be up this CS because she does have the lane priority with the brand here, but it's not too big of an issue. I feel like if EG is able to group up around this point or very soon, Alessla will be able to do far less in a team fight than the Ezreal will.
Huge Sheen proc coming out there from the York, taking like almost I think half of Gangplank's HP. Another one of those he definitely has to worry about what's coming. Anything left, he could die.
Do you see Sonic Abs get caught up on the Glacial Prison and Zyberian's damage? Does, however, get the laser and the... Ooh! Sonic Abs goes for the Cataclysm right into Zyberian's face with the final spark landing immediately onto it. And Spike 29 getting rooted underneath the tower. Does almost die. Does, however, flash away. Don't think he gets anything here. Dyberian does feel it. He's got blood in his eyes, and he does manage to get it. 2 kills for Dyberian right now in the mid lane. We do, however, see in the return, Sour Brown was able to kill Juno. I did not see what happened, but I'm assuming he got the stun and was able to use his Pyroclasm and just completely manhandled it.
Basically what happened there. Nothing much to really do there. Alessla then coming under turret and popping Braum with the stun. Sorrow Brown coming in tall order here. Hard carrying the Alessla bot lane and the Zaya, doing a great job on the brand, forcing Gangplank to ult the turret, ult the minion wave, forcing the heal out from Alessla. Great job by the bot lane and everyone on the map using their ults basically pretty well, honestly. Once they hit 6, the fighting started to happen.
Absolutely. Sorrow Brown, I feel like, was the one who actually popped Starstro there. Alessla pretty much just got his Q and then his E off after the entire burst of Sorrow Brown was able to land and just did 75% of Starstro's HP. Did not get up his Unbreakable soon enough and just disappeared. And it was very, very sad to see. Shuno, however, is looking pretty sad with this CS deficit.
Sad support, balanced support coming there from the Sorrow Brown. Who needs a like actual support when you can just deal, you know, more damage than I think probably 90% of the 80 carries in the game.
Yes, especially early on in the game. There's not really too much to be said about that. Sorrow Brown is able to basically 1v2 at this point. His Pyroclasm is back up. He does have Ultimate Hunter, so he does have 2 stacks on it at this point. Starstro not really liking this. Can't really walk up with Sorrow Brown. Can't get that stun off in time. Sorrow Brown will just kill them both if he can get all the damage out. And we do see Sonic Abs getting a good gank off in the mid lane. I missed it, but the Cataclysm coming in again. Spike 29 able to just do a bunch of damage onto Dyberian as Sonic Abs did collect the kill. The Electrocute proc being pretty good on that champion.
Yeah, not J4 there able to pop off with as we get a game pause. But what happened there for you who didn't get to see it, Orianna did a great job with her distortion, being able to slow the the Lux just enough to allow J4 the opportunity to hit his flag and drag combo with the easy cleanup then on the ult. Nothing really expended there. More importantly, the Orianna not having to burn her ult gives an opportunity for Lux once she shoves out again to get reganked by Sonic Abs.
Absolutely, that'll be pretty sad for her. She did have 2 kills, did manage to die there. Sonic Abs getting that bounty gold feels pretty good. And Dyberian is like gonna be in a decent spot at this point in time. We'll miss a couple of minions, which is be pretty sad. Spike 29 having good pressure in that mid lane because of that. Yeah. But I think this pause will end very shortly. But obviously, it wouldn't be a duo esports stream without a pause. Because I mean, why not?
So. We're 11 minutes into the game at this point. What have you seen? What are your major takeaways from this early game? As at the United House, we always put major emphasis on the first 10 minutes of the game and the first, goal lead right now, which is over 1.8K gold in the favor of AOL.
Well, my first thought process here is that Brand is dumb. I hate that champion. I regret nothing. He is able to 1v2 a lane. Braum pre-6 does not have a good time into Brand. There's not really much he can do in that lane. It's very sad unless you're able to get someone with good follow-up and you can land a stray Winter's Bite onto the Brand, and then you just do so much damage. Sour Brown going for the Pink Ward bait does, however, get some damage up. The Unbreakable into the Pyroclasm completely makes it disappear. We do have a Winter's Bite and all the damage onto the Leslie. We have a 2v2 and we're going to EG's side, but Sonic Abs doing the Dragon solo on the backside, able to just EQ over the wall, get his electrocute proc, and just do a bunch of damage to both of them at the same time. That felt really bad because EG was so excited for that, and then all of a sudden Sonic Abs like, here I am!
Definitely unfortunate. Alesla stepping a little bit out of position, coming up, seeing the blood that is going to come from Brand's ult and Pyroclasm, and that responded in kind with, as soon as he's stepping up, Starstro getting the ult down, knocking him up, and then Ezreal able to shiftily arcane shift away from the ult of Aleslo for the quick cleanup double kill, as it ends up going 1-for-1 for both Shuno and Starstro.
Absolutely, it was pretty good there. Sour Brown mistiming the Pyroclasm, the Unbreakable still up, completely ate the ultimate, wasn't able to get much of the damage down and get up that AoE that he really wanted to get down as he focused down onto Starstro there. So that was pretty good for him. Secret though is bullying this lane, top lane.
Yeah, it's a rough lane. Seems like he's setting up a gank though coming through.
Cannon Barrage does come out. Glacial Prison does manage to land right on top of Seafair. Seafair just trying to flash away, just manages to get frozen and stunned by Chris Brown's Permafrost. It get him as he flashed and then was just able to do enough damage to kill him, which is really sad there. The Maiden just completely dies on the backside of that, so it doesn't even get a continuous push. Whoop, Typhurian trying to commit bot lane, immediately walks right into Sonic Abs. Does not like his chances inside of this Cataclysm, which is why it does land on the Lesso, but there's not really much else that can come out of this. Starstone does Unbreakable as soon as he sees the Seer, but still Pyroclasm yet.
Definitely a bloody game. I think a couple things I want to say. Seavier needs to know he's dead there, not burn the flash. Gives him, as we've seen, consistently shoving in a great regank opportunity for this is running. More importantly, looking at how Aleslo is playing this lane, I do worry a little bit. Aleslo keeps shoving in the lane over and over again when Brand at this point, they could just freeze.
Absolutely, they can. However, Chris Brown's has not really shown much attention at all to that bot side. I don't think he likes his chances ganking into the Pyroclasm at this point, despite the fact that I would really like to have seen him come here as soon as he hits 6. If he's able to land that Glacial Prison onto Sorrow Brown, he just dies before the Pyroclasm comes out, and they can just easily clean up, but it's not something that we're seeing, and that's pretty sad to see, but he is able to get good pressure elsewhere. Starstone reading for some words, trying to get out there, but does, however, find Sonic Abs, tries to leave, does manage to get away with the flash over the wall, and Seaver getting the first tower of the game. There's not really much you can do into Seaver, or that you're just pushing in towers if you don't have enough wave clear just yet. Nitro not having the damage to clear waves fast enough. And the light binding and the True Shot Barrage about to come out for Shuno. Maybe catches a Leslo here if he's not paying attention. You may see something happen here. He goes for it. Leslo does use the Feather Storm to get out of the True Shot Barrage. Did not get that kill. Typhurian feeling real sad as his final spark did not do just enough HP damage to Aleslo there.
Missed it by 40 HP. Super unfortunate. Aleslo burned, even got the opportunity to burn heal there. Yorick, though, running through this map. Sonic Ab is fine. They get the Dragon, though, for their prize, which is super unfortunate. I do believe Sonic Ab had multiple opportunities to take that Dragon. I do not know, honestly, if that Dragon's going to actually do anything. But for them at this point, but Sonic's had multiple times to snowball this Yorick with the Earth Dragon, as he's going to be split pushing probably for the next 20 minutes.
Absolutely, Seabear does, however. Yeah, that was a great shockwave onto 3 people. The entire backline of PG not liking that. The Cataclysm does land as well. Sonic Abs not really having too much going on, but Pyroclasm does do a bunch of damage into the backline. Starstro able to survive by the skin of his teeth, barely getting out there. It did look like they did trade Typhurian for Sonic Abs, getting a bunch of damage out there, and looked almost pretty bad for EG, but despite that, I think EG will lose some tower damage. They might even lose this tower here, but that wasn't all super terrible for them.
They're losing bot tower too. Quickly their regain comes for that. Super unfortunate situation going on here.
Seabear pretty doesn't really have too much even doing here, but he does so much damage and just makes Chris Brown's disappear. Ooh, and goodbye, Night Show.
I just need to point out, I'm sorry to cut you off here, but I just need to point out, Sievert doesn't even have an item yet.
Yes, that
That's how
last right.
balanced Yorick is at this point in the game.
He's so strong. Even without mana, still, oh my god, the final spark leaving him alone with just 100 HP. Oh, I'm sad to see that. Yes, just the 2v1. You can't really 2v1 a Yorick with the Maiden. The Maiden giving so much bonus damage, and with that Conqueror proc that Secret has this good bonus AD and total AD ratios on that champion. In the last right's just so much, and is a good auto attack reset, so it's very hard to go in onto Yorick if he has just enough mana for that Q damage. And it's just, you see it, you feel good. Chris Browns didn't have the Glacial Prison. There was almost no CC to be had for that Yorick at that point in time. So he's just able to have his Conqueror procced and stacked and just ready to go as soon as it happened. Real sad to see.
Almost a 5k gold lead here. I am not exactly, I am worried. I do, looking at AOL right now, I am a little bit worried. I do not think out of the team comp they picked though, EG is not out of this game yet. Great wave clear potential. This Yorick though, Sievert 3-1 now almost with the ZZ Rot completed. This is definitely alert mode for the Yorick. They need to start sending multiple people to match this Yorick and take him out, because as we've seen, the Gangplank just can't deal with him right now.
Absolutely. I think at this point in time, the best thing you can imagine doing is putting 2v1 against the Yorick with the bot lane against him. There's not really too much that the Yorick can do into a Braum being able to unbreakable damage he and the monkeys from the Sea Bear. But however, at this point in time, you can't put them against the Yorick just because, like, the Rift Herald is a thing. It looks like they're grouping around the Rift Herald. You have to be careful of the objectives on the map. You can't just match him in that 2v1 scenario. So it's pretty much EG stuck in a rock in a hard place right now, that this split push is very, very hard to do. Just hoping that Nitro can get something going for his team with the cannon barrage, but it doesn't look to be something that's happening as the case.
Half the damage gone by Nitro just from one combo.
Yes, absolutely. The cannon barrage does, however, land on the Sievert. Chris Browns does come bot lane, does still have his Glacial Prison, saving it right now. Sievert does flash away, still has the Glacial Prison, lands immediately on Sievert, still stunned, not having a good time. Shuno gifted the kill by the Sejuani, feeling really, really good. They do trade that kill and that pressure for Night Show for the Rift Herald as AOL groups 4-man mid lane.
Definitely. Super unlucky right there for Sievert. Sievert almost escaping with the kill onto the Gangplank there. If you notice, he just missed his E combo. Rift Herald being popped. Oh, you gonna get the chance? Oh, very close there by Night Show.
Keep it going. Wouldn't have stopped it, would have just hurt a lot. As it did hurt, couldn't stop it anyways. We do never see a one-man shockwave onto Starstar. Starstar walking up, just used the Glacial Fissure and the Unbreakable to block a bunch of the damage. Sonic Abs getting completely bursted out. So much damage coming out for EG right here. Alessla doing a lot of damage over here with his Feather Call. Night Show able to kill him and clean up the fight. Alessla able to get a good amount of damage there. That was really good on him. Spike 29 is still looking pretty aggressive into Night Show. Night Show managing to land the barrels in the keg combo. Does get the parlay going. Spike 29 is still alive. Barely though. 20 HP.
Man. Such as bad as the bot lane fight where Alesslo and Brand got killed, positioning from the Alesslo. That's how good Alesslo's position there was right there in that team fight. Able to play the angles well, get off to the corner where he is not innately going to get poked out without the team turning and focusing on him, allowing the team to win. Able to get all his spells out, get a great stun, get great damage coming out. On top of that, cleaning up the fight for what could have been turned something really bad, given the frozen mallet on Shuno.
Absolutely, he flashed and blade caller to get that extra kill that happened over there on the backside. Was able to get 2 kills off that flash D. Really, really good by him, recognizing that he can kill them with that damage that he had over there. Sonic Abs tried to make something happen with the Cataclysm, but the Braum did just dash out, and it was looking really good for AOL, but EG managing to play it out pretty decently, so it wasn't absolutely terrible for EG at this point.
Yorick getting the opportunity 1v1 again. Night Shadow. That means probably they're going to have to call 3 people. Does that leave Baron open to take for the rest of AOL?
Ooh, it might. Sievert still does have the teleport. They do need to take care of him somehow. Nitro not having a great time in this lane as we've seen before, but there's just a bunch of E-ramming happening in the mid lane. Alesslo did manage to push out that lane, top lane, before AOL is in their favor. Nobody's trying to clear it right yet for EG. They don't have to until it gets to the tier 2, but they're going to need to send someone there soon. They're going to lose a lot of their vision that they're just trying to claim, just because they're going for this vision game without the lanes push, so they don't have any place to back off to safely.
We were trying to kite this out, get the turret.
Oh, and the true shot barrage does manage to land onto Seabear. Niteshow still surviving, landing the parlay and the barrel combination onto Seabear. Seabear does die. The arcane shift and the mystic shot right into his face, giving another kill over to Shuno. Shuno being gifted these at this point in time, feeling pretty happy about it, but another dragon does go over to AOL. The Mountain Drake to him.
Yeah. Definitely, I would have played that differently if I was Sievert. Sievert having teleport up could have dropped. And I guess you can do it now. ZZ Rot and his ult when he comes up, drop it bot lane, leaving the bot turret and everything after the bot interior turret at basically defenseless, forcing GP to go and then teleporting, taking Baron would be my next call if I was to be shot calling here for AOL.
Yes, that's a good plan. However, if Yorick isn't around the Maiden is just gets completely bursted down. It's much easier to kill if he's not around. It has to be within like a certain AoE, and it's much tankier if he's there as he gets a portion of his stats. So that would have been easily managed by a Gangplank, especially as Gangplank can cannon barrage across the way and still be fine and then TP afterwards. So it's not the easiest thing to do in that matchup, especially with the Yorick and being Gangplank being a damage dealer. If he was a tank, he might have a much harder issue trying to deal with those two. But he's a Gangplank and he does damage.
Yeah. Looking forward now, we're waiting. AOL having full control and all of the Baron. At this point, I think it's just a matter of time till they start to initiate onto the Baron and take it. So looking at that, another split push coming in from the Yorick. Yorick just staying bot lane, everything nice and low on all these interior turrets except for top lane.
And AOL grouping around the Baron, understanding that like they can just wait for Seabear to threaten the tower before they try to go for the play here. See, Niteshow is forced to use the cannon barrage on the tower just to try and keep it alive and keep it alive as long as possible. The Maiden was used a bit early to try and take down the damage to the tower, but Seabear able to get the damage down. The tower is gonna fall down here. The Maiden is super low in the bot side, but there's not really too much happening except for Seabear. It is gonna keep trying chasing onto Niteshow, but I think Niteshow just kites him out at this point. Maiden not having too much HP at this point, as Shuno does show up, the arcane shift trying to go in and get that damage and the mystic shot showing, but as soon as he shows it, immediately AOL turns into the Baron and just starts immediately ripping down. Brand doing so much damage to this at this point in time. Sonic Gap is having his passive as well on the J4. The Marshall Gate is doing a lot here. Yeah. And there it goes.
Now it's time to panic if I'm EG. EG gonna be really hard to basically sustain through any sort of 1-3-1 or 4-1. We see something interesting coming in, the TP from Yorick to stop the ZZ Rock from popping.
Absolutely, I think that's the right call here. He does have Baron, he didn't die over there for that play. Israel went for that aggressive play to try and stop Seabear from killing Niteshow there. I don't think he had too much kill potential and didn't really need to come to the bot lane, but him TPing to that does save that ZZ Rot, and he does have the split pushing potential of a Baron now. So it's really hard for the Niteshow to deal with that. The Baron buffed minions will be really hard to kill, and Niteshow doesn't have enough damage just yet to clear these minions.
Yeah. Free tier 2 T2s.
AOL just out macroing EG at this point in time, just having the understanding of what they need to do, and we're just like, if this happens, I can do this, and if this happens, I can do this. Your lanes were performing well. Seabear able to do great things in the early game. This game is getting really sad, real fast for EG. Seabear, however, does have fancy this 1v1 into Niteshow. Niteshow, I'm assuming, able to get good damage down as he was trying to take down the turret, greeted for the tower and traded his life.
It is definitely, I don't know how well Seaver is playing the split push. If I am Seaver at the moment, Night Shadow's ulting to clear the wave under his turret, I'm just backing off and then walking the lane, especially with Baron buff. With the increased movement speed, I'm just walking this next wave right back in and starting all over again. This time, with nothing there for them to take it, or Night Shadow do clear that wave. That's a free turret right there. Instead, he trades his life, greeting for it under the cannon barrage that came out from Night Shadow.
Absolutely, he could be playing it a little bit slower, a little bit less fast paced, but he wants to go fast, and he keeps trying to trade his life and do these aggressive things into Nitro, but Nitro's doing completely fine right now, just trying to get what he can do. He's trying to scale. He is at 2 items right now with this Gangplank, but I don't know if he'll be able to scale fast enough. Alesslo is at 3 items, while he's only at 2, and he's playing Gangplank.
Yeah. Definitely a bit of an issue right now. Not a lot of waves being pushed in. They decided to recall the lays, as it looks like they're deciding to push it right back out. Dragon coming up in a minute. It is going to be a Cloud Dragon, which is unfortunate. They could have definitely taken this by shoving these lanes in and taking it, but not the greatest payoff right now with the Cloud Drake.
Yes, absolutely. It's not a great dragon to take at this point in time, but it is something to take. Chris Brown's is getting tanky enough to start trying to do things with his team. I'd like to see something that can happen if they can get a good engage off and get like a pick, but not right now as the Baron buff is still on. If they try to go for a pick into the Baron, they're just going to be ending up with a sad, sad time. They do threaten this inhibitor in the bot side, as there are 3 mid lane trying to deal with Seabear. There's 4 in the bot lane. Spike 29-29 does get chunked out by the kegs. Not enough to dissuade him at this point in time. The ball does land, and we do get a light by Neon. Sonic Abs does die to the parlay from Seabear, or from Nitro. I believe the kegs coming down. Alesslo feeling aggressive, goes for the Featherstorm early, and Nitro does get popped, but does manage to trade for Alesslo. The AD carry and the jungle both dying for AOL as they overgreen for this inhibitor. Seabear also dying as well. They're getting lots of like kiting and CC onto him. He doesn't even get the tower. They do only have 2 Barons left. They're almost out. Oh no, the Barons are gone. Scar Brown getting aggressed on by Shuno. Then the Shockwave coming in, trying to do as much damage onto Shuno as he can, but nothing comes of it. Scar Brown did take the blast going away. It didn't feel safe enough to try and get that damage down, to try and kill him there.
Great little chaser. This is the issue right now. Even though J4, and why I don't like J4 as much as other people, J4, even though he's building tank with the Bombi Simber Blue Smite, with the what's it called, the Hydra, the Titanic Hydra, and then on top of that the Spectral Cow, still get absolutely blown up by the combo of Diffurion and the Poke. They trade inhibitor turret for multiple lives and maybe even a top tier 1. No, that top tier 1 is not going to fall. Dragon, though, is still free for them to take.
Yes, EG did trade some lives for that and didn't have the vision or the control to try and go for that dragon. After that, maybe just felt they needed to reset the waves, couldn't really make the call there to go for it. The top tier 1 not falling is very, very sad to see. It is like a sneeze away from death, only 300 HP, but there's not really much they can be doing as it's super far out of their base. And EG really needs to focus on clearing all these wards out of their jungle. There's just so much vision that AOL's been able to control. They've been controlling this vision so well and just able to get these picks, and just knowing that no matter what, like, they can see EG for the most part. And EG trying to go for a Fnatic Death Rush, but doesn't really see too much coming out of there, but we can get some good poke damage on to Spike 29. A good cannon barrage coming out as well, and a flash Glacial Fissure from Starstroke, able to get the auto attack onto Leslo, just block the Winter Bite passive coming in. Shuno does manage to kill him, and oh my god, we do see EG coming in to 4 for 1 or 4 for 0 at this point in time. Seabear happened to flash over the wall. The Winter's Bite passive does manage to land on top of him. Shuno, Arcane shifting over the wall. Starstroke landing another Winter's Bite. Chris Browns is still here, landing the flail damage onto him. Shuno able to kill him, and that is a 5 for 1 in favor of EG.
What a great flash ult by Starstroke. Starstroke flashing, and Alesslo, being scared, decides to actually ult before the Starstroke ultimate comes out, and the Glacial Fissure being the first one to get knocked up. Alesslo getting knocked up and basically knocked out of the team fight almost instantly, allowed to retake multiple objectives here. Is that the throw that cost AOL the game? I don't think so, but a couple more fights like that and we will be singing a whole new tune about EG.
Absolutely, Nitro getting some good damage off his cannon barrage, doing a lot of damage, getting good kegs in the middle of these fights, just doing so much damage for his team. Shuno able to pump out and just basically be long-range Winter Bites procs that gets lots and lots of CC down. He's not able to play too aggressively. His build doesn't let him do a lot of damage, but he is able to perform well in these team fights. And the fact that they were able to catch them by surprise so well there was absolutely amazing for EG. It must have felt really, really good. But Baron is coming up very, very soon, and they do not have the pressure or the vision to go for it, as they opted for the tier 2 in the mid lane.
Yeah, it is definitely a great sign for EG. EG now knowing they can basically win a straight-up 5v5 fight if it comes to that with minimal losses. Can Sievert, though, get back to split pushing, or is it too late and his spike is going to be slowly dwindling?
I think if he's ever able to find Gangplank in a 1v1 and is able to get on top of him, or able to get a good E with his Maiden up, he can probably kill Gangplank if Gangplank is like caught unawares. But right now he's trying to split push into 4 rounds. He's split pushing the lane with the Baron is, just because the bot lane is already pushing. They do have all of those super minions pressing in on their base. They do need to send someone to take care of this. Nitro being the only person that can actually take care of this, but he doesn't have Cannon Barrage anymore. And and we do have a
pause. I have to admit here, I don't care if the inhibitor's down in bot lane. I think Yorick needs to be down there right now, demanding multiple attention here for the free Baron and the free win. With Yorick in the top lane, nothing can really be accomplished because you're not dragging anyone away from the Baron pit. If they did it now, if Yorick was in bot lane, he'd be saying, look, either you answer me with 2 or 3 people because I'll kill whoever shows up one-on-one, or I'm ending the game while you're trying to defend off Baron.
Yes, absolutely. At this point in time, he's basically forcing them to the option that they have to fight that Baron, that they're here. They have to fight this Baron to stop him. But at the same time, they do, however, have the super minions. The super minions can take that base without him. But if the Yorick was there, he could just pressure that so much harder and so much faster that it would have to be an immediate response. Nitro not having his Cannon Barrage or his teleport means that no matter what, that if Yorick is down on that bot side, those towers fall if they go for the Baron instead. The towers will fall. Yorick will be able to do so much damage, but it's some risky games that we're playing.
I'm not gonna lie here. This whole game relies right now, and I hate putting pressure on a kid like this, and on the 19-year-old shoulders of Shuno. Shuno needing to come up with the clutch steal here with his ult. Gonna have to be old luck. They have to be playing to Elo God's Freak himself right now. Please let me be able to steal it, because if they don't steal it and Aol gets it, I think at this point that would be game. If Chris Browns can get a solo mission where he's able to seal the Baron, would be, I think, the most ideal situation. The True Shot Barrage, if he can combine that with the time where Chris Browns wants to go, and if it's communicated, would be very good. Chris Browns, however, right now does out-level Sonic Abs, so that is probably their best bet. Yeah. Definitely an issue coming up here. We're going to have to see. It looks like right now, and I hope we're not giving it away, and I hope we don't have any ghosters, that EG is backing off of the team fight. That would be super sad. It looks like they're giving up Baron to save their base, when in fact there only needed to be one person coming up there, and that would probably have been the GP, and they could have contested it. The Cannon Barrage is down. It looks like he used it, I think, to maybe clear something, maybe try and get vision of the Baron earlier, which is very sad to see. To get rid of Baron. Yep, and we do, however, see Nitro is able to clear these minions. He will be able to move over, but they are not, with Brand zoning at this point in time, they do not have a lot of Baron damage. This Baron damage isn't going down very fast, but there's not too much that can be done at this point. Sievert does not, Nitro does so much damage to Sievert at this point in time, but we do get caught. The Maiden was used early as Sievert did try and pressure the base as soon as he could. Getting that Maiden down, oh my god, please hit that Z0 portal, please, anybody, just look at it, please, no, please, oh my. I'm getting triggered here. Yeah, I know, right? Moment of truth here. They're going to have to force the fight here, or they actually lose the game. I think if they give up this inning, the game's over. It'll be very, very close. We've seen this story before with AOL, not able to get those last-second finishes out, getting into the base, getting all of the inhibitors down the middle inhibitor. Down to we can see a flash coming in from Tiberian, able to try and go for that light call. It does manage to land on max range initial precision on the spike 29-29 as Chris Brown goes in, but the blade call it does, however, root Chris Brown. Chris Brown does look to go aggressive onto Alessio. A 3-man shockwave coming in real good. Shuno able to barely get away from there. Looks like he will survive barely. Chris Brown's also barely surviving, but it does die to the Cataclysm on the side. Star Sparrow's 64 and Tiberian pumping out as much damage as they can, but Gangplank also trying to do what he can and falls to Sievert as well. Woo! Well, you gotta give it up to them. They gave it the best shot. They actually had a good opportunity. Now they just have to end through bot lane, walk it in, sip your tea, enjoy your time. The Polar Express train of the Sejuani comes off the rails, and it looks like AOL picks up the first victory for Week 5. Alessio, a successful debut for the team. Absolutely, did do a good amount of damage for his team. Feels pretty good right there.
not too much that could happen there. The bot lane, Brand and Xayah having so much CC and pressure into the Braum and the Ezreal as well, especially considering that there's 2 different times we want to unbreakable that lane, and you just can't, because you have to pick one, and if you like try to unbreakable feathers, then you're just gonna get completely stomped by the Brand ultimate when it comes up, or if you save it for the Brand ultimate, the Pyroclasm, and he gets his feathers down, then you're just gonna get rooted in place, and you're gonna have a really sad time as the damage comes from behind.
Yeah, it was definitely an awkward, hard team fight. Well-deserved AOL here. When, as we now get to look at the damage, I'm not going to be surprised at all if Brand's leading the damage charts. Brand coming in clutch. Great opportunity in that last team fight to see the wombo between the Ori and the Brand. Coming through with the final scores. Alesslo losing the damage to the Brand by over 5,000. Almost 5,000. Rough game for that. Yorick, 25,000. Actually is almost matched by the GP, who did 24.8k. Yorick only beating the GP by 1,000 damage. Great, hard, even game. Unfortunately, the turret scores did not actually average that.
Yes, if it looks like damage to objectives and towers, or damage to turrets, you'll see that Seabeard's damage to towers spells an entire story. Doing 11k damage to towers just by himself. He did do a lot of damage. He did as much as he could for his team. He was in a force to be reckoned with in that top lane. Gangplank needed too long to scale. Shuno's still able to pump out so much damage for his team, almost doing twice as much damage as Alesslo in that entire game.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's not what's going to show. The win going over to Alesslo. Alesslo seeming to have focused objectives a little more, or in reality, getting carried by the Brand in lane, not being able to poke as much, given the kit of Xayah, getting the Brand poke, where I'm assuming a lot of that damage came through. Great game done by them. Moving forward, though, I think most importantly, as we always say, is going to be the vision score, right? So let's check out this vision score.
All right, I'm a happy camper as somebody plays a lot of support. Everybody bought a control ward. There were some people who only bought one control ward, which is, but you know what? They did buy one. That's good for them. They did help to get that vision. And we do see the star of the show being Sorrow Brown, 67 vision score on the Brand, having a good idea of what needed to be done with the vision, as well as Sonic Abs having a 56 vision score. They were able to get so much vision together.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a great vision score there coming for him. Sorrow Brown coming through, I would have to say, the MVP of this match as we move forward. Looking at that, Sorrow Brown, another strong showing. Alesslo, a decent showing coming out for the first time for him playing with AOL. Sonic Abs as well, great job showing out. Everyone on AOL, and I think most importantly, we have to say a great job to EG, who tried their best to win that game, but unfortunately came up just a little bit short. If they could have got 1 or 2 more team fights after, I think it would have been after 25 minutes. This game was probably still going to be a victory, or it would have probably been an EG victory.
Absolutely. They had that one team fight win, tried to go for some global gold for their team, feeling that the gold was what they needed when they could have also just gotten one turret and got a lot of vision priority in their jungle and around the Baron, especially considering they knew that it was coming up soon. And if they were able to do that, I think that entire game and that late game ending as it happened would have been a little different, because we would have seen that EG was able to prepare around that Baron and able to get the vision and things like that they needed, and able to be there. And also with Nitro, if he was able to save his ultimate, and then she could just be in the bot lane and just clearing the supers, especially because Yorick prioritized the top lane and trying to get that inhibitor down rather than going to the bot lane and pressuring that tower.
Yeah, it would have definitely been a great moment. Anyway, as we move forward, we are going to get into our next game. We're going to take a short pause, let the casters get a breath, let them go to the bathroom, and then on top of that, let our next game get set up. Our next match, in fact, being AOL running it back, this time against the brand new team of Havoc. Havoc, their 3rd game in Duo Esports. It's going to be a great game. Stick with us and follow us to the next match. Have a good day, guys, if you are leaving. Great job to AOL. Congratulations. Have a wonderful day coming up, and we will see you soon. I'm live.
All right, and welcome back to the game 2 of the BSGCS Season 3, Week 5, Day 1, second game. And we do have our game coming in. Aol playing for the second time, trying to show us exactly what they can do again if we get to see some of the same champions I expect to see. And we have Hvc here this game, Hvc being the new team recently made. And what do you think about that, Warhood?
I have to admit, Hvc, just because they're recently made doesn't mean they're not veterans of this league. A lot of them have played before in duo esports coming through. Yeso being the #1 captain of this team, the 80 carry, coming in and getting an opportunity to play. Spartan Kixo as well, getting the opportunity to play. And of course, you have Core in the mid lane, and I play support in the top lane with finally Razzle Dazzle coming out and rounding out their team lineup. Gonna be a great job. Unfortunately, Core had a bit of computer troubles, had to move his computer, in fact, and Hvc will actually be losing a ban, even though they are in the lobby on time. They didn't show up to the lobby 5 minutes early as per requisite with the rules, which you know what that means. That is a loss of a ban coming into a strong AOL team who just picked up a victory over EG.
Absolutely, it'll be really, really sad to see, but I expect to see some good bans. I assume that they'll probably end up banning out the Trundle. I don't think they'll ban out the Kai'Sa. I assume that they'll opt to ban something out of Sieverts. I don't know if they'll ban the Yorick feeling if they're feeling pretty good into it. Maybe we'll see. But I kind of expect to see a Darius ban and a Darius and a Trundle ban against AOL just because they're two bans. And I expect to see
the Yorick ban.
We're not in the thing yet. I was just gonna say I think I see the Yorick ban at all. I think it was pretty interesting to see, but as we saw, it started to fall off near the late game and wasn't able to do too much. His split push priority was not as great as he would have liked, especially into that Gangplank pick. I don't know if I play support does play Gangplank or something that can scale into it or something that can even match it early game, but I do expect to see AOL with some mid lane bans against Core. Maybe against Yeso to get him away from something that's comfortable.
Yeah, definitely an opportunity coming here to see it. Core, of course, having the last pick. So we are definitely in the opportunity right now to go and move forward. We are about to get live right to the champ select. As we come in here, we get a great opportunity to see what is actually going on and what is going through the minds of Hvc.
Ooh, and we do see a Skarner ban. I was not completely prepared for that. It does get banned away from Razzle Frazzle. Being a great jungler, he was on Naughty Nips last season, able to do great things for that team. Eventually got subbed out for Arcarsian in the jungle near the Season 2 finals as his computer was not up to par. It was a very poor computer, had very bad computer issues, but now has a better computer and is playing for Hvc, which is really good to see. He's just a sub right now, Ramen being their main starter. Hvc missing their ban, not being able to do anything about it because they were a tad late as Core had some issues prior to the game.
Yeah, we're going to see what's going on here. Next ban coming out, you see the Morgana coming out. Morgana, a strong pickup in the support lane, especially against other AP champions and CC heavy champions.
Absolutely, a good Morgana ban. Nothing really banned against Core. I'm pretty pretty surprised by that. I imagine that people would try a ban away as Anivia. He is an Anivia one-trick first and foremost, and it's not banned at all. They do ban the opt for the Vladimir instead, and the Darius did get banned on Havoc's side, as I figured it would. If you're getting new to the top lane, you're not really wanting to play much against that champion, and we see the Kai'Sa ban instead of the Trundle. I'm pretty interested by that.
And maybe looking to first pick the Trundle. Is Trundle first pick priority champion? I do not really think so, but we can definitely see something coming forward as we look at what may be happening.
They opt to give him the Trundle, letting him do what he wants to. And then I think at this point, we have Nezumi playing instead of Sorrow Brown. I expected to see a Brand, whether they were debating on a Brand first pick or a Trundle first pick. I assume that we'll probably see a Brand second pick if Hvc does not pick it up themselves.
One thing I have seen, and I know Kindred locked in, which is very interesting.
We'll talk about that. Finish your thought first.
Yeah. So One thing that is definitely something that I've heard around the Great Mill as a support is Alessio does not like a lot of those more utility-based supports that we saw in Brand or the damage-based supports. He likes a tankier support to match with him in lane, being able to basically peel for him a lot better. Brand did a good job in lane. I wonder, in fact, if they're looking to get a tankier support that maybe Sorrow Brown does not play.
Interesting, maybe. I don't really know as of this moment. I know Nezumi plays a lot of Alistair, and he might be looking to pick that up as well. The Ezreal does get picked, which is a good safe pick for Ye, so I am pretty happy to see that coming. We do see a Trundle and a Zac. Is that a Trundle in the top lane? Or Trundle support?
Support. I would think Trundle. I love running Trundle support. It's a little bit trolly. It's a little bit fun. I mean, who can't troll on the troll, as I like to say. Trundle, in my mind, one of the most strongest champions down here in Bronze, Silver, and Gold. Makes any tank absolutely worthless. And the Swain picked up, they are going to be incredibly tanky over on the AOL side.
Absolutely, that is a lot of frontline, a lot of dive potential. If that is a Trundle support, that is very interesting to see. It's pretty good into poke lanes due to his passive and able to regen in the lane. As if he can just sit there and just watch his AD carry farm, he will have lots of HP regen, which is pretty good for him if it is a Trundle support. I don't know just yet that Zac could go somewhere else. That's a pretty interesting that we see both these champions. Core does get to pick up his Anivia, the Anivia one trick himself, one of two inside of Duo Esports, I believe.
Yes, it is. Core, great chance, great job. We've seen Anivias. I've always had this opinion about Anivia. There's either two types of Anivias. One that's an absolute mess to your team, or the Smurf, the Diamond, like 3 Smurf Anivia in gold that is just that is just pooping on everyone. And we will get to see what type of person Core is today on that champion.
Absolutely, his Anivia looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited to see it. We do see we're an active ban as well. Trundle not really wanting to deal with that. If it isn't the Trundle in the top lanes, we have literally no idea right now. And the Xayah, opting to ban the Xayah away from Leslow. Maybe just get him off something a little more comfortable. They haven't banned the Lucian yet, and they do opt for the Yorick ban as well. Lucian is still on the table.
Yeah, something definitely interesting. I don't know how much Alessio plays the Yorick, though. Alessio, from what my knowledge is and what I've seen from him, does tend to like a lot of the longer range poke champions. You know, he does well on the Varus. We've seen he can do well in the Xayah. Ezreal, we've seen him do well with as well. Shorter range champions, like, for example, Lucian and Vayne, he has not shown a good affinity to play.
Interesting. They are both up, both Varus and Lucian. I expect him to take either one at this point in time. I'd really, really like to see the Varus here, to be entirely fair. I think the Varus engage would be really good. You already have a Swain, and if Swain is able to prioritize damage, we'll feel really, really good for that team. We do see a Blitzcrank pick for Spartan in the bot lane.
That is definitely one way to prevent any short-range champion coming through. Alessio now hunting the Mundo, even more tankness coming through as he keeps rotating through everything that's coming through his mind. Varus the hover, I think this is where you go, but Varus incredibly immobile.
It is a Yasuo 80 carry? Question mark?
Unless it's Yasuo top. Or Swain top. It might be.
I think we're Aol's draft is a little weird. Let's talk about it. There was somebody talking about Yasuo 80 carry in the chat. I don't know if that's actually a plan or if that's what they're going to go with. I think it's not terrible here.
This team has no damage whatsoever.
Absolutely not. The early game damage is not existent. It's very hard. It's very easily kited. I play support getting the Mundo into all of the AP damage that AOL will do. But there is a Trundle on the field.
So if anything happens, this game is going to be a very quick game if AOL doesn't play this correctly at all, because they are going to get absolutely murderized.
Also, that is a Zac support.
Any sort of damage. No, it's not. That can't be a Zac support. We are getting trolled right now. Zac is about to get switched at like 10 seconds to the Trundle being the support. There's no... Why? Zac offers you absolutely nothing.
Why are you CC? Why are you like this?
Why are you throwing this game away?
I don't know if they're throwing it away. I mean, Zach has the E ability, and he can get good AoE knockups for the Yasuo.
By
If
the-
he does opt to be the support here, which is looking like it might be, which is pretty interesting. Shores Trundle can get a ranged engage for Yasuo if he's able to get a good pillar up underneath someone. And we do have a Zach support with heal in the bot lane.
Well,
What is happening?
I don't want to cast this game anymore because this comp is absolutely troll. Looking at though what they have in general, Kindred actually, I forgot who I was talking about this with before. At the end of this game, we saw this matchup before. I think actually into the Sonic Sabs Trundle, and they were saying that Trundle actually loses to Kindred early, as long as you force the Trundle pillar out, you're able to basically out kite Trundle point blank with Kindred.
As long as you don't use the dance of arrows first, you have to wait for the pillar to come out and kite away from the pillar with your dance of arrows and getting the damage proc off of that. It's very hard for Trundle to get on top of you in that regard, especially if you save your E as well for when he uses his W and you're able to get that slow down as well. Because then you can kite him out and do a lot of early game aggressive damage onto that champion if he does opt to duel you, and it's very hard for Trundle to heal if he's not able to kill or be in range of champions to die for his passive. So it'll be pretty awkward, and Kindred, if does have red buff, will have a very easy time getting on top of or getting onto a Trundle and just doing constant DPS if Trundle's not able to get the pillar to disrupt the Kindred.
Yeah, definitely a lack of damage pre-6, I think, coming out from every lane. Trundle going to have to power farm pretty quickly. I would go back, rush the Tiamat, rush Bombing Cinder, whatever you need to do. Get through the Trundle, get 6 as quick as possible to affect this map more appropriately. Not a lot of damage coming out from the Shen, the Swain pre-6, or the Yasuo just in general.
I think we might see him look around top lane. Shen does have good gank setup onto a Mundo. Mundo not really having too much he can do. He
Well,
can
they
basically
all
activate
have-
his Burning Agony.
They all have great gank setup, I think, when you're looking at what they have. Zach coming in with the displacement, right? Swain having a stun and a snare and a slow, and Shen having the taunt, the A cancel, all of that sort of good stuff. So Trundle can get ganks off. I just don't see exactly where the damage is going to come through unless Trundle's damage is surprisingly, strong.
But Shen does a lot of surprising damage early on. Same thing with Trundle if they're able to get on top of the Mundo specifically. And that is probably, I think, the place that you look. Yasuo will be able to do some damage as well if Zach is able to get good peel and damage going on. So we might see some action bot lane, but it's an Ezreal. What do you do against ganking an Ezreal as a Trundle? Walk at him aggressively and just throw the pillar on the ground and be like, well, did he walk into it? All right.
You're hoping, right? This is what you're hoping. You are hoping that post 6... you can pillar the underneath the Ezreal, displacing him, and you have roughly like a 5 frame second that Yasuo can get his ult off. That then CC locks him enough for Zach to follow up with his own combo and to ult behind that and basically stop Yasuo from being able to do anything productive with his arcane shift.
Absolutely, that is exactly what I expect to see. The AOL's composition is very, very tanky and will be very hard to deal with, and Trundle being able to steal all of Mundo's resistances as the game goes on and scales. But I do like the fact that Havoc does have actual damage and will have a good mid-game and be able to kite very well. They have an Anivia, they have an Ezreal, and they have a Kindred. This game should be very interesting considering Champ Select has been more than that.
Yeah, it's going to be something awesome that we see as we come out here. I don't really. You have a Blitzcrank. You probably can see a major gank coming out, invade coming out, right? So I guess AOL
I think
takes
that we
that.
expect to see something.
AOL can turn the gank around. Actually, I think they have a decent gank counter comp with the Zach and the Swain and the Shen. So you are definitely going to get the opportunity to see something pop off if unlike EG, Havoc decide to take a less aggressive or more aggressive stance on their invade.
Yeah, I think it'd be very interesting to see something that happens. If Blitzcrank is able to get a pull off on the Shen or the Zach. If Shen starts his Shadow Dash, he will be able to get out completely fine. Zach, if he starts his E, which I don't know the name of it, it's like Elastic Slingshot, I believe is the name of the ability.
Slingshot.
He'll just be able to get away as well. Blitzcrank not having a follow-up knock-up to knock them out of their dashes will just be sad to see, but I think there is potential here. If Anivia will start his Q, we'll be able to get follow-up CC. We'll be able to chase someone down, especially with a Mundo on the field. It'll be interesting. Yes. I'm pretty excited to see how this game will go.
Yes, definitely something we shall see coming through. In the meantime, we get the chance to watch this early game coming up. What team do you got coming forward to see us play through? Who do you think is going to win this comp?
I mean, comp-wise, I mean, Havoc has a better composition here. They don't really have a good force of engage except for a Blitzcrank pull, but they do actually have a good amount of damage and lots of kiting ability. Aleslo's gonna have to dive pretty deep to get his last breath off, or he's gonna have to have somebody reliably set it up for him. He does have good setup for his last breath, but if he's getting that off, he has to dive into the Anivia. You really have to hope to catch the Anivia first and foremost, and then just hope that the wind wall will block off the Ezreal's damage or the Kindred's damage, because it'll be pretty hard to get anything going if they don't get the Anivia, because then the Anivia can just use the Glacial Storm underneath the last breath and just basically delete the Yasuo unless he plays like he's crazy.
Well, the last breath is definitely something we have to watch out for. However, Spartan Kios taking the exhaust is going to be able to neutralize that pretty easily if you go in. I always find that funny when I see a last Yasuo, jump in front of everyone trying to get his last breath off, and then all you hear is just the sad noise of the exhaust coming down, and then no damage getting dealt.
Yes, it's always sad to see this kid Tempest Tornado being very important to his kit, but hopefully he does have good range knockups. The Swain E, he can also even ult off of that as the pull comes in.
Yeah.
From the auto attack reset on the Swains. So that's also something he can ult off.
So I have a theory coming into this early game. You know how we're 3 minutes behind, right?
Yes.
So I almost want to say Aleslo came into the chat, listened to us talking about how little damage he did, and was like, you know what, I want to prove that everyone's wrong. I can do damage too. I can hard carry a game. Give me 80 carry Yasuo. Give me a bunch of knockups and let me get to work.
My real question is, why wouldn't you just pick Alistair here instead of a Zac?
They probably flexed it and didn't realize where they were flexing into until the last minute.
Realized that they didn't want the Trundle exactly where they thought, and then they picked up the Zac. They were like, "Ooh, wait, I wanted the Zac here," and then you just had maybe didn't expect to get the Trundle, but ended up getting it and decided that, you know what, this is Sonic as most played champion. Does look forward to Aleslo, does go aggressive onto level 2, does get the knockup on into the bot lane. Nezumi able to get a good elastic sling shot going on. Yeso and Spartan getting zoned out. They do go aggressive. Spartan and Yeso getting kind of low in this matchup.
Yes, constant aggressive.
Ooh, and we do have a mid lane gank as it turns, or mid lane invade. Spike 29 and Sonic Abs did manage to catch out Razzle inside of his jungle, catching him out, deleting him from the map, only getting 2 points, only getting his blue and his red buff. Not having a great time. That's going to put that Kindred into a very bad spot at this point in time.
Super unfortunate. I think what happened there, I didn't get to watch the whole thing. What I would assume happened is Trundle rushed the scuttle. Kindred walked out to meet him, saw it almost gone, didn't get a chance to get her smite off, get her health back, and then Trundle smiting full health just basically gets to walk out and just, beat down the Kindred, while Swain had priority over the Anivia, because early game, Anivia does get shoved in a little bit by almost every champion.
Absolutely not much to be done. We do see Nezumi and Alesla coming for this Kindred mark, not wanting Kindred to get this free stack that should have been given to him, because Sonic Albs did go to his top side of the jungle. So that's really sad for the Kindred. Kindred not having a good early game. Not really much to be done at invade. I'm assuming, as you said, just putting her into such a bad position. We don't see that happen every day.
Now she actually got the combo right, honestly. As you see straight down bot lane. She got the combo right. She waited to eat out of the Trundle pillar pretty well.
We do see a good game coming off in the mid lane. Core does manage to get this kill. Razzle getting his double buffs back. That was a really good gank and a really good crystalline wall by the Anivia, setting up that gank beautifully.
Great discipline there coming out. I guess Swain on the first blood had to burn flash in order to get it. They take advantage of that really well. I do not know if Trundle, Kindred had a markdown on her, which she did not, which is rather unfortunate. But we do get to see a chance of now her being back in the game.
Absolutely, unless we're using the win wall. AOL
Oh.
going aggressive again in the bot lane. Bear able to get a solo kill onto iPlay support, having a big minion wave. I think iPlay support playing a little aggressive, able to get Shadow Dash into the minion wave, and Bear not fully underneath the tower, getting a bunch of damage down onto him. Feels bad. Kindred does feeling frisky, able to get the Dance of Arrows down. Bear does have the auto attack blocking down the Shadow Dash onto Razzle Frazzle. Trying to cut it out. Does manage to get the auto attack and get the damage down, but Bear manages to get the kill anyways. 2-1 on the Shen and 2-2 on Razzle.
I mean, it's definitely something. Oh, big lockup here. Big hook. Spartan starting to feel a little bit confident with that, what do you call it, Rocket Fist. We could certainly see that paying off later. I guess the one thing we need to talk about is that Zac passive, though. That's going to be a great bait coming through later. Zac going to not even have to really need to Elastic Slingshot in. All he has to do is bait the Blitzcrank into hooking him into basically Yasuo, and then getting a free displacement off for Alessio and the Yasuo coming forward.
Yes, absolutely. The Let's Bounce will probably be a very good opportunity if he's able to bait out a hook, get hooked, and Let's Bounce the team into the Alessio and getting a great ultimate off that would be wonderful to see, especially if he can Elastic Slingshot anybody afterwards and just get so much CC down as if Yasuo will be able to free hit, but that is a time that we are waiting for. Razzle Frazzle showing up as the scuttle spawns and as a mark. Razzle feeling pretty happy about that. Gets his first mark of the game, 6.5 minutes in, as iPlay support is getting aggressed on by Bear. Bear does have a Tiamat. Razzle's coming in. Bear did already use his W, the Spirit's Refuge, not having a great time here. Razzle Frazzle did get some damage down, but Bear able to use the bushes to his advantage and get out clean.
This is, I have to say, Sonic Ad turning into one of my favorite junglers right now. Gets the opportunity, sees the Kindred topside, sees the spawn, knows the mark, knows where she's gonna be, decides to just invade and take everything from the bot side of the jungle. Kindred now in a huge deficit coming forward.
Absolutely looking pretty sad here. Kindred trying to do something in the top lane. Does manage to keep going onto this top lane. Bear does get pushed down the lane. Does just Shadow Dash away. No flash here. Doesn't really care too much. Sonic is doing lots and lots of work on this map, does understanding how much damage his champion does, is going to now solo the dragon as his bot lane is pushing in aggressively. Unless they're able to get whatever he wants, he's got this aggressive push. There's not really much that the Blitzcrank and the Ezreal can do into this early game against this lane.
I have to admit, I've never gotten a really chance to play against the bot lane Yasuo. Isn't that surprisingly, if I've watched this is probably my 4th game and casted the second time I've casted it, a lot of harass coming from the bot lane position early into these marksmen.
Yes, he's able to get aggressive trades going on. Level 2 and 3 is when he gets his wind wall. He can, depending on the lane formation as it is, if you're in a lane that goes for a lot of poke and you need to get your wind wall level 2 is not a bad idea. The rocket grab did come in under the Zumi, but doesn't really care. But if he's able to go aggressive really hard level 2, especially with a composition that, or with a champion that can also dive with him, like Alistair goes really well in that regard. He's able to get a good level 2 going. And it's very hard to trade into that because there's just constant CC that comes out and also extra damage, as Yasuo does have a very high base attack speed.
Now the level 6 or level 7 in Factor Core, that's going to be a big issue for this Swain now, not going to be able to roam. Because I have to think that at this point, Anivia just shoves in over and over again, especially with the tier and soon to be Catalyst completed.
Yes, Core able to find the vision of AOL, clearing that out, and Anivia just being a strong pick here, able to just wave clear permanently. Spike also being able to wave clear pretty decently very soon. Does, however, have very tanky, very hard for Core to deal with at this point, but he doesn't really need to fight him, he just needs to push the wave and then just be a bird.
Yeah. Super unlucky there for the bot lane of AOL. Both hit 6, both looking to make that fight. The Elastic Slingshot comes in and Blitzcrank cooks it. Now though, it seems we're going to look to have a big fight.
Razzle is level 6, is looking. Core is here. It does manage to steal the Scuttle Crab. Razzle is here. It does go by his teammate, preparing for the Kindred ultimate. The Lamb's Respite, not getting too much going. Mizumi does, however, have his passive coming down. Jen does come in with the Shadow Dash, getting a good 2-man taunt coming off. Spartan still here, is baiting them out. Bear and Spartan, and Spike able to kill down Spartan as well. all in all, a 2-for-1 Alessio did die for his team. Seafair now 3-1 and Spike 2-1.
Super unfortunate. Oh, this fight's not even done yet.
Oh no, it's not. Seafair does TP top lane, does go aggressive on it. I play support, does have a big minion wave, and does have the Saviors input. And does just walk away aggressively. Not really much that he can do into the Seafair. Seafair does have grasp, is strong, has a Tiamat, does have the null magic mantle, and having to get red buff off of that. So this is going to be pretty hard to deal with as a Mundo right now.
I don't think I was going to comment on it very shortly.
Yeah, there it is. I play picking up another solo kill. He does have red buff, and we do see Razzle Frazzle manages to kill Sonic Abs, and Sonic Abs goes aggressive again into his jungle, and Seaver does flash auto attack to finish the kill onto I play support in the top lane. Does have red buff. Need to respect the red buff. Red buff being so strong on a top lane champion if you're able to abuse it correctly. Understanding that you have this shadow dash.
Well, what I was gonna say is I do not think there was a major miss. Oh, as I don't get a chance to speak again, it looks like.
As the bot lane is going aggressively again, the last breath is useless. He's able to get a good last shot. We do have the less bounce to bring Spartan further away from Yeso. Nothing he can do there, no heal. Alessa trying to get another knockup, but nothing really comes of it. Yeso still fine, still playing Ezreal. Spartan not having a good time right now.
Not at all. Spartan not having any real mobility outside of that. There's such a huge trade-off on the speed boost.
Ooh, and we do see them trying to go for a dive. Elastic Slingshot just barely missing onto Yeso. Yeso does, however, have the Arcane Shift still. Just enough mana for it to get away. Doesn't get dove here. Core does show up, though. Does he get anything going for his team? Yeso comes back, does manage to get some damage down onto them. Maybe dissuaded from the tower. Core is here. He is looking. He does get the Glacial Storm. He does get the wall. And there is a Wind Wall matching his wall to get rid of the Nivea Splash Frost. Nothing to be done there. Sonic Abs was still there, was still looking to maybe see if they would continue going aggressive, but nothing happens of it.
So what I've been trying to say for the past 3 minutes, Kindred slightly misplayed that original team fight. Super unlucky there.
Yes, she did. Oh, and we do have more aggression from Iowa. Big shot does manage to get it off on the pink board, and we do see a rocket that's coming in onto Alessio. Alessio getting Flash Frost over the wall by Core. Core completely just making him disappear. Sonic Abs getting the kill onto Razzle Frazzle as the Lamb's Respite wasn't up. Well played by the Nizumi, though, able to keep finding these aggressive trades and going for these aggressive plays.
They got these great deep wards at the blue. They know where they have to go because of the Kindred marks. Gonna be able to do it. I'm just gonna give up. What I was trying to say is that the first team fight, Kindred failed to Lamb's Respite, the death to the Swain, which led Trundle to go in thinking it was down and got the kill for it.
The long card, the long bait. Core does get dove underneath his tier 1. Does have the Lamb's Respite though to save his life. Doesn't get the egg coming out yet. The Glacial Storm does come out. Sonic Abs still going underneath the tower, but he does have the egg. Sonic Abs taking another tower shot as Razzle Frazzle is here. Does manage to get the Dance of Arrows coming down. Sonic Abs having to get stand united by the Shen to keep him alive as Razzle Frazzle was looking pretty aggressive right there.
Catch your breath right now. I'll speak a bit, try to get some water in you so you don't dry out your mouth and make it so you can't talk for these upcoming team fights. What a crazy past couple of minutes that we have seen. Trundle, one of the strongest junglers in my mind. I say it every week when I cast, because every week it seems to be picked, and every week I seem to be proven right. Trundle just being able to invade the Kindred over and over and just kill him every time. Razzle Frazzle not in the position to actually do much at this point. Super shut down, even though he does have his jungle item and tier 2 boots. Great opportunity coming forward. On top of that, it looks like the Shen has most of the kills. Gonna be incredibly hard to kill in these coming fights.
And it will be very, very hard to deal with, or the Mundo will have a very hard time dealing with that champion in general, as a lot of his damage will be coming out from auto attacks as the game goes later on into the game. So there's not really too much that he can do into this lane, which is going to be really, really sad, as the Shen does get all these kills now and will be very strong. Despite the fact that I Play Support is staying up in CS, which is good on him. That's also because Seabear is going for these aggressive TPs around him about his team. As his team is going super aggressive plays all around the map. And we do see Alesslo getting another kill onto Spartan. Spartan having a great time, and the Swain stealing that kill with the Vision of Empire. Really, really sad. This 2v2 is going very sad now for Yeso and Spartan. There's not really too much they can do into this Zac support.
I'm surprised with the Zac support playing off so well. Or really, it's not the Zac support playing off. I think it's more the Blitzcrank being unable to deal with any sort of CC movement because of how immobile he is in this. Oh, goodbye. Given position. Now, Leslo getting a free chance to take turrets and all of that sort of goodness.
Yes, and Alesslo was able to get the red buff after that play in the bot side, so that was good for him, and probably what enabled that play, to be entirely honest. The red buff feels really good on the Yasuo in general. And Nezumi is able to just, if Nezumi gets hooked, it's pretty much over at that point, because then the chances are Blitzcrank is going to be very near to the Ezreal and should be able to get almost a two-man last breath almost every single time.
Yep. Dragon taken again. It looks like Havoc is trying to make the play coming back. Swain though finding it.
Ooh, they do smite a little early. They do manage to get it, I think. Yes, they did. Razzle Frazzle was able to get the Lamp Spike coming out, keeping him and iPlay support alive. There's not too much to be done. iPlay support does try and walk out, but he cannot. The Dance of Arrows to go over the wall, but Spike flashing over and just giving him the Death's Hand as Leslo flashing over that wall to get the Steel Tempest onto iPlay support to finish off those 2 kills. They did manage to get the Rift Herald, but they paid for it with their lives.
And when this
Core going aggressive, Sonic Abs getting caught out and then getting a rocket grab underneath the tower. Core getting a bunch of damage down, showing that he does know this champion and he's really strong in this champion. And once he gets his core items, I feel like this game may still turn around.
Yeah, Alesslo doing a great job macro playing this and rotating, dealing a bunch of damage. He always focuses his turret objectives. Getting all these objectives for his team is definitely a great thing that he does to bring to any team he plays on. And it looks like this game he's even bringing a little bit of damage.
He's trying his best, maybe looking to get more than 10,000 this game. We shall see as it comes out. Right now, I feel like Nezumi's doing a lot of it, or Yasuo is getting to that point. He will be doing a lot of damage very, very soon.
Definitely now it's a chance to just split, push, calm down. Hopefully we get a chance to breathe and reflect on this game. So, Voss, when we loaded into this game, were you expecting this game to turn out, well, this crazy, this early?
I was not expecting this super hyper aggression in this bot lane whatsoever. It's worked out very well into Aol's favor, and as it started happening, it makes more and more sense to me. And I was like, oh yeah, so you can play super hyper aggressive with this, because Zac has a passive and it's very hard for Spartan to deal with unless he's able to plan out his hooks accordingly and is able to get good baits out with his hook. But it doesn't look like that was the case, and Nezumi able to play the matchup quite well, clearly having an understanding of how to play Zac support. Good on him. Not really something you see very often. I play support does get immediately aggressed on by Seabear, just trying to go for this 2v1 as Sonic Ab shows up, and then iPlay support does manage to use the save system a little early, does try and walk it out, does try and go for the kite. They do both flash on top of him. Sonic Abs giving the chomp down, getting for the damage down. Sonic Abs also landed the subjugate down as well. Woo!
Game starting to spin completely out of control here for Havoc. Don't know if Core's going to be able to take this. It's super unfortunate. Here comes the... Well, you're going to get to see this one-on-one on the top lane. I do not think Ezreal wins this at all at this point.
No, Leslo is 2 levels up at this point in time, does have his IE and his Phantom Dancer, doesn't really care too much. Yeso does need to walk up and bail out the wind wall a little bit, but he's feeling a little afraid. There was no minions there, so he could have walked up a tad bit, but now that there's no minions, again, he can just like walk around to the side of the tower. Leslo cannot tower dive him right now. That is something that Yeso has seemed to realize right now, but now the tower is too low. There's nothing to be done here. And the tower does fall. He is baiting Leslo in, does dodge a Steel Tempest as Core is right on the side. It does look like he's trying to get the Flash Frost. Leslo's wind wall does come up in 5 more seconds. Might be looking for something. So Spike 29, 29. Oh, and we do see the last breath coming out onto Core. Core just managed to get tried to land a point blank Flash Frost. Doesn't get it. Does manage to still be alive. Still has his egg. Still able to kite it out right now. Still looking for that double kill that they were going for against the Ezreal. Ezreal did manage to get away. Did, however, trade Anivia's life for his escape.
So, I didn't even know that was possible. So, one thing in all of this chaos we did miss is the double Ocean Drake dropping. I didn't get even a chance to see what the second Drake was. 2 Ocean Drake on this super tanky comp means that basically they're gonna be unkillable coming up soon, and I do not know what the third Drake is. It's a third Ocean with AOL incomplete control of this game. Uh-oh. Nope, they're just gonna walk it out, it looks like.
Spartan does manage to get the rocket grab onto Sonic Gap. Sonic Gap does use the 78, I believe, right on top of Spartan. Not feeling too good. The Blitzcrank pick has not really panned out very well for them. Sonic Gap does, however, taking the tower, does get stand united by the Shen. I play support with the state of the still going on. Seabear not able to land the Shadow Dash, and we do see Zach Fast getting pocket. Seabear does die to Razzle Frazzle, and they keep going. They keep going. There's 3 kills onto Havoc now. Ooh, well done. The Glacial Storm just sitting on top of all 3 of those members as they were stuck there from the Crystalline Wall. Core playing his heart out right now, trying to do man on this Anivia.
Yeah. Core getting a great 2-man stun there with the, I don't know what it's called, the Flash Frost. Great job on the 2-man stun there. Alessio not taking a ton of damage as well. 4-1. Anivia could be in the moment where she's that D5 player in a game of all silvers going, let me carry you. I am an Anivia after all.
Yeah, as I said, as he gets his core items, he's very fastly approaching his second item. Once he gets his second item, this game can change immensely. There's no MR that's being built yet by anybody on this team. So, like, at this point in time, Anivia is going to start going hog wild if he's allowed to just get to these items and the item spikes that he wants, and just it'll be pretty hard to see. We do see an immediate Aegis as I'm talking about nobody having MR.
Aegis? Oh, I see it. Yes, Aegis coming out, and the Merc Scimitar is coming out as well. On top of that, we are definitely going to have to see them. There should be all alert onto the Anivia, building the AD or MR coming out on there. It looks like as well, I think that's supposed to be coming out. The Zach is going to be a, what's that item called? The Stone Plate?
He might be looking for a Gargoyle Stone Plate, but he doesn't really have enough HP right now to make it effective. At this point in time, he might just be looking to finish his Sunfire Cape. This is what it looks like, and they are going for the Dragon again. Razzle getting immediately bursted down and trying to get the Dance of Arrows to try and get the steal down, but wasn't in range. The Wind Wall blocking all of his damage. Celestial did use it early, and there's nothing to be done for trying his best, staying alive inside of this pit, trying to show him what a real battle royale, and just completely deletes Nizumi, but does still get knocked up. Alessio with the last breath, showing him how it's done. Seaver zoning off I play support. The Mundo pick not panning off too much right now. He is super tanky, but it's just giving Trundle free stats at this point.
So it's what I'm gonna say here, and I don't know I didn't look at what their win rates are. I do not have op.gg installed to see how many times they play it. Razzle Frazzle and Spartan do not look, as Mundo goes away, and I play support, do not look comfortable on these champions at all, which is leading to these rough score lines that we are seeing coming out of them.
Also, the Zach pick I feel like was very good. Spartan not having a really good idea on how to handle that lane entirely. Does get a good rocket grab onto Seabird underneath the tower. Seabird is now tanky due to the bomb he sent it for the Sunfire Cape. They do go aggressive. Razzle Frazzle still has his Lambs for Spike. Could not use it earlier as he did get immediately one shot. We do see Sonic Abs starting to go low. Seabird also going low. Mystic shots firing, nothing coming out. Spartan flashes right into the minion wave and rocket grabs that. That was clean. And then Razzle Frazzle does manage to get the flash dance of arrows to kill Seabird there. Good on him getting some trade damage.
Hey, if you hook a minion, it still goes to your hook percentage. So,
absolutely, he does have the accuracy.
Yeah, but honestly, that's definitely not what he wanted, and that's definitely what I'm talking about, not feeling comfortable on this Blitzcrank. That's the second or third time, and man, Trundle denying the blue buff from Core again. That's the second time we've seen that happen, and with them constantly taking the blue buff, they're doing a great job preventing Core from getting his blue buff to basically completely spam his R over and over again.
He really, really wants that. It's very, very good on an Anivia as well. And I will also say, as somebody who plays a lot of support in Champions, I've definitely flashed into a minion wave and hooked. I'll say it. I've done it. You get that tunnel vision. You're like, oh, really? I can land this. I'm just at the range. Oh, of course I have.
I've been a support main for 7 seasons. I've hooked minions, and I flashed and failed hooks. I've never flashed into a minion wave and hooked a minion.
Oh. You're just not thinking of them. You probably blocked them from your mind.
No. Like, I'm sure I have never flashed into a minion. Flash hooked a minion. I've flash failed hooked. I've never flash hooked a minion.
Oh, I definitely have. Get that aggressive tunnel vision, and you're just looking at it. You're just like, I can land this. If I get the flash, I'll have the distance, and I know I can land it. Not looking at the minion wave, and then, oh, there it is. I've definitely done it. So I'll give it to him in that regard. But, whew.
Rough
This
game
game
coming
is
forward.
nutty.
So rough game coming forward, and that all-important 10k gold lead. Let's take a look to see where this gold lead really lies upon. Looking at this right now, you have almost a 2k gold lead onto the Shen, as another fight looks about to be broken out.
Mundo getting caught out immediately. Does get immediately subjugated by Sonic Abs. Does, however, have a Sadism proccing, so he is going to heal up a lot of this damage. They are in a tight zone. They do get a good Shadow Dash onto Razzle. Razzle does get the Lancer Spike down. Core still here. Does get the Glacial Storm down in a good position. Able to get some good damage down, but not enough to save his team. They're so behind. There's not enough that they could be doing. Core does happen to have his 2 items, almost his 3rd, but it's very hard to do damage into that Yasuo's Wind Wall.
Yeah. Unfortunately for them, Mundo getting knocked up like the Prom Queen on Prom Night. When he gets engaged upon, Mundo looking completely out of position, getting knocked around by the Nezumi, then by the Swain, and then taunted by the Shen. Very unfortunate for the fight, and Baron is their prize.
A 10k gold lead did manage to get 2 kills there. It's looking pretty rough. They do not have... and it's going to be very, very hard for Nivea at this point to wave clear a Baron damage, or a Baron buff minions. It'll be very, very hard for her. She does have a decent amount of damage at this point, but it will still be hard to deal with. She's going to need some good help from the Ezreal at this point. The Spartan may be able to hook the cannon minions underneath the tower to help clear those, but this game is looking pretty rough for Havoc as of this point.
So here's my question to you, as we see a down moment as they all recall and buy with their significant goal lead as they start to push 20k. How would you have played that lane as Spartan? What would you have locked in, and what would you have picked into the Yasuo Zac combo?
Well, having no idea that they did, they picked the Blitzcrank before the Yasuo, and then they did have vision of the Zac, but they had no idea. We did a vision of the Zac and the Trundle. At this point, we were just assuming it was a Trundle support. And picking the Blitzcrank there, I don't think was bad, because there's not really too much that Trundle can do into a Blitzcrank support, because if he gets hooked underneath the tower, he has a really sad time. And then the Yasuo pick was the good, because then you can win while the rocket grab if you're able to properly react to that. So, and Spartan does get caught out again, does get never moved, gets Steel Tempest by the Tornado, and just gets knocked up. The Lamb Spike coming out, Razzle trying to kite them underneath the tower a little bit. Well, kiting is not the word I would use, but does stall them a little bit, takes some tower damage. Core does get flashed on by Alesla. The Crystalline Wall to try and separate the two of them doesn't separate him, does get completely minion blocked, and he's having a sad time.
Game, set, match. I think they go for the end here. Mundo hasn't been able to show the ability to stay alive at all. Definitely about to fall here really quickly as they turn, take the turret, take the 2 turrets. Aleslo coming through, showing he can actually do damage in this game. 9-2 and 8. Aleslo, welcome to your new team, AOL. Hope Frosty is happy with their replacement, because you just showed you can carry a game again.
And then he found that. But good on him. He's doing quite well right now. His Yasuo plays pretty good. They do, however, manage to carry the game with a good old 15k gold lead. Well played, AOL, showing what you can do, showing 2 different compositions and 2 different ideas on how to play the game, and doing quite well with that.
Yep.
Woo!
Definitely a great job coming forward, looking at that. Do you think Aleslo, before we look at the damage, do we think Aleslo here led the team in damage? Before I get a chance to look at it, what is your prediction coming through?
Well, Spike did more damage.
Are you predicting that, or you
Yeah, I'm predicting that Spike did more damage.
Okay, as we go into the damage, let's see. Spike does do more damage. 3,000 less damage than that. Aleslo, in a game that was 10 minutes shorter than he was, over doubling his damage from the first game of his showing.
Whew. Good job. Hold on, I would love to have some talks about that, but my client is being slow, so I can't see any numbers right now. But good on him.
Let me give you the numbers then. How about that?
Oh yeah, let's sound
26,000 damage coming from Spike. 22,000 damage coming from Aleslo, with the leader on the team. 23,000 damage coming from the Anivia, coming from Core, who just couldn't do enough to carry his team through the top of his basket. From his backpack.
Yeah, the Swain I feel like does so much damage, AoE or not. There's not really to be done about it. He's just such a strong pick right now. Cord playing out of his mind, trying his best in the Anivia. The Alesslo was able to perform quite well on this champion, able to pump out all of the damage, which was really, really good for him. But
That
Mundo
what I
almost doing as much damage as the Shen as well.
Yeah, I mean, definitely an interesting one. Mundo, unfortunately, didn't get a lot of chances to show off his damage because he kept getting poked and picked and killed. But showing that he could survive long enough. The big moment for Alessio, I think, was that early rush onto the IE. Now he did almost 7,000 damage of true damage because of the second item IE. Great pickup by him. Great intuition on what he needed to build to be in a position to definitely carry these team fights. I guess the last thing we have to look at, right, unless there's something you want to look at, is the vision score. Coming forward, we're looking at the vision score. Good numbers coming out. Everyone as well for you. I don't know if you have your ability to read these scores coming back.
Now.
That is great to hear. Everyone buying a control ward again. Even Alessio and Spike buying one apiece. Mundo maybe gimping his build a bit, buying 7 vision wards. Sometimes there is a thing of buying too many wards. Coming forward, looking at that, Nazumi even doing 54 damage, 54 vision score. Blitzcrank an impressive 51 from the quickly losing position.
Yeah, that was really nice to see. I was really happy to see all that stuff done. It was some really good ward placements from the bot lane. They didn't really have they were able to get good ward placements and able to make good plays off that, coordinating with Sonic Abs and able to go for these aggressive engages on repeat with the Zac pick and the Yasuo pick. That was really good on them and recognizing they could do that. Spartan unable to hook the Zac out of his E, which is the most important part of that matchup, is you have to be able to knock him out of his E so he doesn't get that knock up going, and it's most of his damage as he will level that first. So really good on them, really good on AOL, recognizing what they can do and what they can't do with their lead. Well played all around, and anything else you want to talk about there?
I guess we should bring this up now as we get a quiet moment, as we get to see at the beginning of the split. I will bring it up. We do not have a third game for the night, unfortunately, for the league, as we get an opportunity to see what's going on. The team of Roasted Black Peppers have folded, unfortunately, due to the smurfing punishment that happened to Roasted Black Peppers. They were unable to continue, so AE gets the free win tonight, and with that, we are definitely done. I guess for this point, I would like to say thank you so much for turning out to subscribe for Thursday night. We had great numbers. If you like our content, please don't forget to follow, join our Discord, subscribe to our Twitter, or follow our Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I believe we even have an Instagram right now. All of them are tagged at Duo Esports. Thank you so much to all our supporters. I'll bring that supporters page up before we leave. We have great games coming up tonight, tomorrow, as we look at them. AOL returns for a third game of the match in a hypey match. AOL versus Alessio's former team, Frosty Esports, coming through. That is going to be definitely a great game. LG as well versus Frosty, and then Naughty Nits versus Lobster Gang Esports. What a great match. Which match are you looking forward to watching today, Alessio, or tomorrow, Alessio?
I'm not Alessio, first of all. Second of all, I'll be actually inside of the Naughty Nips Lobster Gang team fight, or team game, and that'll be really fun to see. I really like what Lobster's been doing so far as a team. I think it'll be a pretty fun game to play and also to watch. AOL versus Frosty, that should be a good game. AOL's pulled out some interesting things so far. Maybe they'll pull out something really funny in this next game.
I have to think from a rivalry standpoint, Alessio versus Frosty is going to be a hyphy game. I'm not going to lie. I'm expecting a 5-man dive at 10 minutes. At 7 minutes, in fact, diving the Alessio just to get the Alessio kill for them. They did not end well on good terms from everything I have heard. We are definitely going to get to see coming through what's going to happen in the future. So from us at Duo Esports, I am the headcaster and the producer of this stream, John Warhood, and my play-by-play guy today was
Voslo.
So thank you so much for watching, and we shall be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, and that is 4 p.m. Pacific. Have a wonderful night.